Good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Alonzo de Velasco. I'm the sergeant in charge of our homeless outreach team, as well as the crime suppression team. A little bit of background about myself. I've been at the Carlsbad Police Department for 18 years. I'm proud to say that I grew up in Carlsbad. Went to the elementary schools, junior high, Carlsbad High School, graduated from there. Left for an agency, came back because this is my home. My kids go to Carlsbad schools still, so I'm very, very involved and committed to the community. And I'm very blessed to be a part of this community. So I'm going to really give you a brief description as far as our department's homeless outreach team. It was established in the fall of 2017 after the city adopted a homeless response plan. We built our mission in regards to building trusting relationships with the homeless community through compassionate enforcement. The goal is also to connect the homeless communities with community partners to create long-term solutions. Those community partners range from state agencies, federal agencies, countywide agencies, DMV, anyone that can help them get resources to get back on their feet and become productive members of society. We partner with faith-based organizations, community organizations. There's a long laundry list of people that are part of our team and that we work directly with. Some of the duties of the team that I supervise are encampment response and cleanups. That's when people call in illegal encampments or some type of debris left behind by camp. We'll respond and we'll make arrangements to clean it up. We do proactive foot patrols. We patrol the downtown area. We patrol all of our trails and open space. We patrol down south in La Casa, all those great trails, and we also assist patrol officers with home-related call service when we are available. Another one of our duties is providing outreach. Our officers actually, during those foot patrols or proactive opportunities, they'll actually engage with the homeless community who they've established relationships with. I have two officers that are assigned to the homeless outreach team, and I've specifically chosen those two officers for their ability to communicate, their level of compassion, and that they see the bigger picture of what law enforcement's response is. It's not just strictly arrest, cite, and move on, throw them in jail and move on. We have a bigger picture of following the people that need help, and it may not be the first time, the 20th time, the 30th time that they accept our help, but it may be that 31st time. And the officers that I select, they are determined to get those people help, and they don't give up. So again, these two officers are chosen specifically for their willingness to create a level of a relationship with a community who quite honestly doesn't have the best or the most respect for law enforcement because of how they've been treated in the past. When we provide outreach, we get in contact with them and we find out what their problems are or where they need to be helped. We either connect them with two of our licensed clinician social workers who work out of City Hall under the homeless response plan, or we get them in touch with someone from the county who can provide them with some type of resource, whether it's CalFresh. We take them to the DMV and help them get identification cards so they can apply for either a job or for another benefit. These are things that we do because we understand that unless you kind of walk someone through, we all know how long it takes. I'll use the DMV as an example. How long it, hopefully there's no one from the DMV. I just renewed. But you know, we have a relationship with the DMV because a lot of the people won't stay and wait, and then it just keeps them from moving forward. So if we can hold their hand and kind of walk them through, and then that provides another step towards recovery or towards, you know, self-reliance, and we're going to do that. That's part of our commitment to them. In regards to an increase in homeless population statewide, it's a very, very complex issue. It's not just in the city of Carlsbad. Like I said, you can see it all up and down the state. And there are a variety of reasons. These aren't the only ones, but a lot of time it comes down to lack of affordable housing, changes in laws, drug and alcohol abuse. They don't get the help, or they may refuse the help initially. Financial strain, which is due to something outside of their control, whether it's health related, being unemployed, a company closes, and they're just not set up to be, to have 3 months of a salary and really falling on hard times, and they start living in their vehicle, then they sell their vehicle to feed themselves. So the problem kind of perpetuates. Mental health. We can have a long discussion about the mental health resources that are or are not available. The mental health crisis is increasing. A lot of these people are not taking their medication that they should to help them stay balanced. And the final one, which I think is kind of a big one, which is the climate. I mean, who doesn't want to be homeless along the coast? The weather's nice year-round, versus being homeless somewhere in South Dakota during the wintertime or somewhere back east. And you ask the people that come from, we have an influx of people from the East Coast, and they come here because of the weather. And another one is choice. A lot of people choose to be homeless. And that's something that we try to kind of find out why they want to be homeless, but they just don't want to follow rules or be responsible for anyone but themselves. We've kind of broken it down into the 3 types of homeless individuals. And I found it fascinating when it was shared with me that you have the have-nots, the can-nots, and the will-nots. The have-nots are the people under the financial strain. And those are the hardest to find because they have pride. We want to provide resources to everybody, but they're too proud to say that they lost their job, that they lost their house, that they're going through some type of financial crisis. And they live in their cars, they go to work still or whatever, but they remain underground. The can-nots are those involved in mental health, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, because they just can't make the decision to take their medication or make the decision to go into rehab and get professional treatment. And then the will-nots. The will-nots are the people that are there by choice. They just will not take your resources or will not try and improve their situation in life. And those are the ones that we try and treat everybody or offer resources to everybody, but those really are the unfortunate ones that you put so much effort in and realizing that they just don't want it. So again, our program started in the fall of 2017. These are some brief statistics of the homeless outreach team from the late 2017 to the end of 2018. This was 2 officers. They had over 2,800 contacts with homeless individuals. That seems like a lot, and it is. But again, many of those contacts are repeat contacts. Like I told you earlier, we don't just stop and meet somebody or contact somebody living under a bridge or in a tent and they say, no, we don't. We offer them resources and they say, no thanks, and then next time we see them, we don't offer them. Every time we make contact, we offer them resources, because it could be that, like I said, that 31st time that they say, okay, I'll finally take your help. That's a win for us. During those contacts, we had 145 arrests, and those ranged everything from warrants, drug possession, being under the influence of drugs or alcohol, weapons violations, and stolen property. They issued 100 citations. Primarily, those citations were drug possession, illegal camping, and littering. And the littering is a very, very big one because a lot of encampments up north are set up around protected waterways. And whatever it is, they just decide to use the protected waterways for their own toilets, their own trash receptacles, because the water flows down and so does their trash. So we really focus on our waterways to make sure that they're protected. And it's kind of funny that when you come across another individual who's been cited for the waterways, because it's a fish and game code, they know it's very expensive. And again, we try and work through an educational direction first and progressively start working towards enforcement. But they understand and they start spreading the word to their other buddies. Don't mess with the waters, because they understand how important it is. We cleaned up 200 encampments throughout the city. Again, many of the locations were repeat locations. It's because they know that they're near service centers, freeway off-ramps, because we as a community feel bad for these people when we give them money. They know that it's easy to make a couple bucks, and that's the best way to set up a camp near it. A lot of them are under bridges because, again, especially during the wintertime, they want shelter as well. And then we had 8 mental health related detentions. I say that's low because it is, but that was specifically for the homeless outreach officers going into camps, recognizing that an individual needed some type of mental health and was taken to a hospital. And then we completed 194 field interview cards. Some of our successes over these extended and repeated contacts with people, and these are successes through the homeless response team, which, like I said, encompasses our licensed clinical social workers and our homeless response plan, under our homeless response plan, excuse me. And this is just from August 2018 to February of this year. We contacted 68 individuals during outreach, and that was either through the social workers going out and contacting them in the public, or the police officers making contact with them in the field and then connecting them with our social workers. 7 chronically homeless were moved into permanent supportive housing. 2 individuals into sober living, 3 to inpatient and substance abuse treatment programs. 7 were placed into emergency shelter placement, and that is, hey, I have someone that needs shelter right now, can you accommodate this? It's like, we're not the only person, the only agency asking for help or asking for placement, but we have the relationships with many of our community providers that they say, bring them in. So we had 7 of those that were placed that night. 14 were connected with mental health services, and 19 connected with their primary doctor. And that's a really important one for us because a lot of these people do have underlying medical conditions. So for us to be able to get them in contact with their primary doctor who knows their history, and again, can be us taking them to their doctor's appointment. They're getting the help for whatever disease they may have or whatever medical treatment they need. It's just that extra step of us actually recognizing that they wouldn't go on their own, but with our assistance, they're going to get the help they need. Our largest biggest complaint that we receive are encampment responses, and I want to just give you a real brief understanding of how the homeless outreach team in the city deals with encampment responses. Generally, we receive a complaint, whether it's to a phone or somebody calls dispatch, and or an email, and I'll provide you my contact information at the end. Our team responds within 2 days, and we go down and we check the camp. And the officers will have to post, before we can pick up any property, we have to post a 72-hour notice. So we'll attach it to their belongings, a tent, if it's unoccupied. If it's occupied, we advise them that they need to leave. And if they choose to stay, they have 72 hours. So you kind of give them 72 hours to move out, essentially, even though it's, they're illegally camping on whether it's a preserve area or whether it's open space. Then we generally schedule a cleanup. We clean up about 8 to 10 camps a week. So we coordinate with Public Works, who has a contract with Urban Corp, and they have crews that come out and pick everything up and clean it up, and they leave it in great condition, and sometimes too good to where they come back and it's like you cleaned up all their mess, but at least we're protecting the environment. And during these encampment cleanups, you come across syringes, a lot of biohazard debris, and that's all. We want it all cleaned up, and we want it cleaned up safely. Something that we've started utilizing to our benefit is the use of drones, and we launched those during encampment to go search for encampments when we get a complaint. So if I get a complaint about Calavera, I get a pretty general description. Both of my hot officers will go out and they'll deploy the drone and they'll kind of take an overhead view and try and see where they can find it. And there's a couple reasons we do that. A, for our safety. We want to make sure that we can see the number of people, A, where it is, and the best route to get in. B, the number of people that are there, and to make sure that there's no dogs or any other hazards that the officers may encounter. But not only that, we also want to find the best route to get in without damaging the brush, the wildlife. We want to have as least of an impact while trekking these camps. Even though a lot of the homeless people setting up camp don't have much respect or, take the time to avoid certain areas, we as a police department, we're in no rush to get in there, so we try and take a very, tactical approach to not damage what's already being damaged by the people staying there. We'll make contact with all the individuals. We'll issue them citations depending on the number of times that they've been contacted before, and then we document the encampment locations. I can tell you this, that the encampment where the two individuals were staying for this incident, the homeless outreach team did not know about the encampment. They did later locate it, even though they had were familiar with the general area. We had not received any citizen complaints. So that brings me back to how we need your help and how you can help all of us, including the homeless outreach team. How you can report homeless-related issues, just like anything, if it's an emergency and someone's being assaulted or someone's life's in danger or you feel it needs an immediate response, 911. It's going to get you a police officer there immediately, and we will deal with the situation. If it's something as far as a bicycle being left behind, or you see a camp and you want someone to go check on it, it's near school, or you feel it's just something that's concerning, you can call our non-emergency number at 931-2197. If it's something that you want that's specifically homeless related and you want it directly to come to us, you're going to contact the homeless outreach team directly at 760-931-2249. You can't see it here, but the email for the homeless outreach team, it's policehot@carlsbadca.gov. Again, policehot@carlsbadca.gov, and my email address is down there. It's Alonso, ALONSO, DEVELASCO@carlsbadca.gov. Again, thank you for the opportunity to share what the homeless outreach team has done and is continuing to do. Again, being part of this community, I can't thank you enough for being here. I love this community, and it's the community support on why we continue to do the job that you expect us to do. So thank you.